Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Yusuf Nazokatov, who will fight on Cage Warriors 197, November 21st. Hello, Yusuf. How are you?
I'm good, Marcin. Thank you for letting me join this podcast, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you for taking the invitation. And actually, in the 3 weeks, you will fight once again in the Cage Warriors against the fighter who maybe not doesn't have like a big record for now, but he definitely got a really long amateur career. So,
Mm.
if you can tell me, what do you think about him as the opponent, and are you doing anything different in your training camp for this opponent?
So let's talk about Mark Felipe Ngacho. So I've only watched a few fights of him. I know he. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure he won IMAFs. So you know you have to be a good athlete to win IMAFs. He fought a guy called Shea Ingram on Cage Warriors, and he got it was a good fight. You know, 3 rounder. Um, you know, Shea took it, but it wasn't an easy fight for him. So you know, from just them stats alone, I know that Ngachou's a good fighter. I'm not taking him lightly. You know what I mean? He's a good athlete, and my preparation for a fight, I guess it's how can I say? It's different every time. You know, like for example, this time, um, you know, our coaches have been focusing a lot more. You know, how can I say? My fights have gone to on majority of my professional fights, I've always been striking, but never really displayed my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu. And I can do all of them. So you know, maybe I will show my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu more. Maybe I will stay striking. It just depends how the opponent um, also comes at me. You know, it's one of them. I'm always trying to look for the finish. Um, and I'm there to win, and I'm sure Ngacho's there to win as well. But I'm I come into every fight to try and win. You know what I mean? That's the aim of the game, isn't it? To try and go and get that finish as quickly as possible and make it entertaining for the fans around the world.
And actually, in your last fight, you had a lot of like good moments, but in the end, your opponent won. So did you have any takeaways from the last
Yeah.
fight?
Oh yes, 100%, bro. Marcin, I did. You know, without taking anything away from my opponent, the Scottish Ryan Campbell is a great athlete. But I know me as an athlete, and I know when I perform, and not taking anything away from him. But I just didn't perform the way I should on that. I got tired early, due to personal reasons in camp, and I've learnt my lesson. You know what I mean? And that's what every fight is about, isn't it? It's about learning lessons. I've only had 4 professional fights, so I'm just learning the ropes. I'm getting better every fight, and that's it. And like I said to my friend before, we was talking about this. Like, I don't care about, like, when you lose, some people hate losing and like they go depressed, and like I know every time I lose, I get better, and I get miles better than if I win. So if it happens like it happened last time, great. I've leveled up so much from my last fight because of that, and I won't make the same mistake again. And in the future, maybe me and Ryan can fight again, and I can show that it's not just excuses. Some people will say, they will see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't. Like I said, I'm not new to losing. I don't welcome it by any chance. But if it happens, I brush myself off and I go back to the gym, Martin.
And I think that is like super important, not only in MMA but also in just in life,
Exactly.
because in the end of the day you will not be undefeated in any area of your life. But it's
Exactly.
important to take lessons from your losses and show your improvement in like next
Exactly.
fight, let's say.
Exactly.
And actually, I saw a few interesting things in your career, even on your topology. First thing that you have a fight schedule in 2014 against Aziz Thomas. Uh,
Yes, like lad, you've been doing your research, man.
and what happened with that fight?
Okay, so yes, I was supposed to fight. I think I must have been 18 and 19, bro. Good question, man. Very good question. Yeah, I was supposed to be my professional debut on FCC against Azzy Thomas. And you know what, bro? I tore my ACL. I think like 3 weeks before, I tore my ACL, Martin. And guess what? I found out after, when I found out I tore my ACL on that knee, I found out that I tore my other ACL. So I had two ACL ruptures, brother, at 19 years old. So Martin, it was after that, I had like maybe 5 years off, 6 years off MMA, Martin, just to heal myself, come back from the game. A lot of people don't know that, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's that fight is a big one in my mind, you know, because it was like I was one of the best amateurs in the country. I was going pro at such a, I was just, you know, like I had the ball rolling, as they say in England, and then bang, everything just stopped, and it was just like a dark moment in my life, and I've gone past that moment, and if I can get past this, I can get past anything, you know.
So with two knees when you were 19, did you think at that moment that maybe your career, even as the as the pro fighter, that it actually didn't start, that it will end really quickly?
Yeah, I really did, bro. Like, especially I didn't. And back then, I know it's when I was nine. I'm 30 now, bro. But when I was 19, the ACL operations are much more advanced now than they were before. Like 10, 11 years ago, bro. Now they don't even have to take hamstring grafts and stuff like that. They can do mad things. But back then, like if you did an ACL rupture and not one but two at 19, goodbye. You know, goodbye, brother. But I'm stubborn, man. You know, I just knew I wanted to do this. I didn't want to do anything else. I've been fighting since I was, 15 years old, training, and I just loved it, Martin. You know, like I'm sure you have a hobby that you enjoy, and if it gets taken away from you, like what else do you do?
Yes, yes, it's definitely hard thing to do without this without this one of the
Mm,
your like passions, let's say.
exactly.
And actually, on Tapology, you didn't have an amateur record, but in YouTube, I saw some of the of your fights. So, what is like your amateur record?
My amateur record is 8-3, brother.
And actually, I like it in like European MMA. It's in UK. It's also like France, Poland, and many countries that the amateur career is kind of long. It's not like 2 or 3 fights, but it's like 10, 15, sometimes
Yeah,
20, and it's probably a really important thing for the fighter to be ready when he's going pro.
yeah, 100%. Like Martin in the UK, when you have a fight in amateur, especially back then, it was called semi pro, Martin. So you would only have 4 ounce gloves. You couldn't elbow, but you could knee. You didn't have any shin pads. It was like a pro fight, but you just couldn't elbow, Martin. So my amateur fights were basically pro fights, but without 4 ounce gloves and no elbows to the face. But I could knee. Do you know what I mean? But what can we do, bro? It's just the rules, isn't it? End of the day, you're still going in there and fighting another person. You know what I mean?
It's like ordinary pro fight, let's say.
Exactly, bro. And there's no difference really from the 4 ounce gloves to the six, to the amateur 6 ounce gloves or 6, 7, whatever you want to call them. There's not much difference, bro. When you get punched, you can still feel it. You know.
And you made your pro debut in 2021, actually in Bellator. So also it's a kind of interesting thing. And how did this fight happen that you made your pro debut in such a big organization like Bellator?
Yeah. So I just got given an opportunity. Basically, there was a show in Ireland, Bellator. One of a welterweight opponent needed to get matched up, and my coach at the time, Prince, he said, "Look, we've got a fight for you, but it's at welterweight, and it's a really good opportunity. It's at Bellator." And I was like, "Why not? You know, I've not fought for 5, 6 years. I'm coming back. Why not come back in a really good, you know what I mean? A great. I can't. I just couldn't say no. The guy was a monster. Martin, the guy was so big, brother. I don't know if you watched the fight. I looked so small, brother, next to him. Um, I took a lot of shots in that fight. I took knees. I took elbows from Mount. Brother, being out for 6 years and then going into one of the biggest promotions in the world. Like it has to affect you. And on top of that, I wasn't sure whether I could fight. You know what I mean? But we got the win. We got the win. I heel hooked him in the second round, I believe. And that even proved it to me more, Martin. After that win, I was like, yes, I'm back. I can definitely do this. It was just like in your mind, you can do it, but sometimes you have to have like a certainty, and that was the certainty for me. Like I was like, I'm ready. Let's go, man.
And also, after a while, you were scheduled to fight in Canada in one of the Canadian promotions against Luke Roberts, but the fight actually also didn't happen. So you are a kind of like international fighter that you can fight in like all over the world, actually.
Yeah. That what? That was another fight I really wanted to happen, Martin, but it didn't happen, man. This guy was a really good Canadian wrestler, brother. He's been wrestling all his life, and I was a striker coming into this fight. And at the time, I was training in Canada. I was training at TriStar with Faraz Zahabi, Ayman Zahabi, all them lads from there. Incredible, incredible athletes over there. So I believed that I could defeat this guy. You know what I mean? But then he pulled out, brother. He pulled out fight week. Oh, I was so ready for that fight. Everything went perfect. Because he got interviewed just like this, and he was telling in the podcast, he was telling the fighting promotion that Yusuf's, yeah, he's all right. I've seen his videos, but I'm going to destroy him in wrestling and on the ground. I'm going to try and stand with him. And I was just like, no, brother, you're not. I can't wait to show you, man. But yeah, gutted, bro. It didn't happen. I really tried. I really tried to get that fight, but he said he got injured, bro. So what can you do? You can't do anything, can you?
And he actually is a really good fighter. I'm not sure what his record is right now, but he's a very good. So I think that the fight also would be like a super interesting one. But when the fight is like cancelled few days to the fight, what can you do with this kind of energy that you have, because you are preparing yourself for the fight? It's like not only physical but also mental preparation. And in the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's no fights. So what you do with your mind, especially?
With my mind, you know what? I guess it's one of my superpowers. Like as soon as I know something like that has happened, I just accept it. I know some people would, get emotional and crumble and stuff, but I'm like, I guess I guess, how can I say, like, it's hindsight in it. Like, end of the day, MMA means to me, it means so much to me. Like, fighting is everything for me. But when I take myself out of that, it's just a sport, isn't it? Like, I know I've trained 6 to 8 weeks for it, and I have to remind myself that I have other things. I have a family. I have friends. I can have a good time. Like, yes, I'm really gutted that the fight didn't go through, but there's so much more goodness to remind myself to not let me get into the darkness. Do you know what I mean? Because I would go deep in the darkness if I had if I chose that way. But I know it's not a good route for anyone, is it? Because I'll just be moping and feeling sorry for myself. And I've been there before, and I don't I don't want to go back there, brother. I don't want to go back there.
And actually, it's very good mindset, but sometimes probably it's hard because you have this kind of identity that you are a fighter, and
Exactly,
and
exactly,
w-
Martin.
and without it, you feel like emptiness.
Exactly, bro. Like I think what you just said then is like, when I got injured, when I tore my both my knees, I think that period of time really showed to me that MMA isn't everything. So after that, everything was easy because before then, brother, everything was literally MMA. I would think about it. I, everything was everything was fighting. You know what I mean? I didn't know anything else. I was only 19 years old. So when that got took away from me, I just feel like it like forged my mind so strong that, because everything it got took away from me at such a short time. You know, I've only been training maybe 3 to 4 years MMA, and then I was going pro after 4 years. Like everything was going fast, 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 and then boom, I was like, so I feel like that moment in my life really helped me a lot. So to kind of the Luke Roberts fight, I just was like, so what? I went to the show. Me and Faraz went to the show. We drove for like maybe like 4 or 5 hours. Me and Faraz Zahabi in the car. We was talking about training and just to be in the car with Faraz Zahabi, brother, was incredible. You know what I mean? I picked his mind so much in training in his life, and it was really interesting. You know, so we would watch. A couple of our other friends was a couple of other teammates was fighting, so we watched them. I was in the back helping. You know what I mean? Just to still participate within the team, not be like well, I'm not fighting now. I'm just gonna go home and get drunk. I don't know. You know what I mean? I still went to the show. I still saw everyone. It was a really good day actually. And then we came home and back to training on Monday, bro. You know, and back to the grind.
Yes, and probably like 4 or 5 hours with Firas, it's like super beneficial time because he's one of the
Exactly,
smartest
exactly,
like guy from MMA.
exactly.
And if you can tell me how like did your journey with any combat sport started? Like how old were you, and what was the first combat sport that you train?
Thai boxing, brother. Yeah, it was my Thai. It was my maths teacher, brother. How crazy is that? So my maths teacher started to do Thai boxing classes. Well, after school clubs, once a week. It was a Thursday, Martin, and I was like, I kept getting in fights in school, and I was like, I'm gonna go, And I went and I loved it, brother. I loved it, and I started going every week. And then he used to pick me up from school after school because my house was maybe like only 2 minutes away from the school. He used to pick me up after school, and he used to we used to go to his Thai boxing gym, which was in the same town. And we used to train and used to drop me off. And we used to do that 4 times a week, 3 times a week. My maths teacher, so I would see him in school. He was like my big mentor in school, and one of the biggest reasons why I probably started MMA really, because of Thai boxing with him, and he kind of took me under his wing, and knew that I was kind of not struggling in school, but I was that foreign kid in school. Do you know what I mean? In a white predominant school, and I was always fighting with kids and always getting up to no good really. Just trying to defend myself, and what it's like in school, Martin. Sometimes you have to prove who, especially with a group of boys, you have to like fight and to show who that they can leave you alone. You know what I mean?
And actually, this like your story is a good indication that you have to have a luck to meet a really good like a person in a let's say correct time because if he wouldn't be like a Muay Thai coach and some other guy, your life story would probably go in some different direction.
Exactly. That's so true. Yeah, I never thought about that like that. So what you mean if I met like my maths teacher was, I don't know, played football for example? You're saying I might have liked
Yes,
football.
yes.
True, true, true. Yeah, very true, bro.
And how old were you when you decided that MMA will be sport for you and you want to pursue this kind of career?
16. I start. Yeah, 16 years old, bro. I started training. 16 years old. Yeah, and then obviously I had the 4 years training, and then I was out. I was out for 5 to 6 years. So take that away. I've been training for less than 10 years, really. I wasn't not training at all in that 5 6 years because I couldn't do MMA, but I was just doing like weights and physio and technique here, like shadow boxing in the mirror.
And probably when you have this kind of Muay Thai background and you went to MMA gym, it's probably like first grappling session could be a little bit tough for you.
First year, Martin, I just got chalked out every day, bro. It's horrible. But you survive, and then you get the little bits here and there, don't you?
But it is also a really good feeling if when you are not really good or really bad at something, and then you are
Yeah,
average or above average, very good. So
yeah,
probably it's like a really good feeling, and it's like obvious thing that when you are doing something for many months, many years, you will be at least
yeah,
very good at it.
yeah. Of course, Marcin. Let's be honest, brother. We can both agree on this. You know, I know wrestling's very difficult. It's one of the hardest sports in the world, but in wrestling, you don't get punched and kicked. MMA is one of the hardest sports in the world, and it doesn't help. There's no financial help with MMA. You do everything is sponsors and you. On top of that, you have promotions. You know, you have. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not. You have to be a little bit to do MMA anyway. On top of that, if you want to make it a career, it's like you're crazy, crazy. But here we are, man. We're doing it.
And right now you are training in Liverpool, right?
I'm training in Liverpool, a gym called Next Generation. Some of the athletes you might know is Molly McCann, Luke Riley, Paddy Pimlett, Nathan the Strangler. We got Adam Cullen. Bloody hell, we've got Chris Price. We've got so many names, bro. And I'm sure I've left some Shem. We've got George Staines. We've got a really good top athletes there. You know what I mean?
And I think that right now, I don't want to say that is like the best gym in UK, because I think that there are a few points in UK that have really good gyms, but it is the best tire, let's say that the best like league of gyms, because of course
Oh
Paddy,
yeah,
but also the fighters from the Cage Warriors, that I think that maybe in 2 years, a lot of them from next gen will be in the UFC.
100%. Yeah, facts, Martin. Listen, when I first started when I was 16, brother, I never trained at Next Gen, but we all heard of Next Gen, and that was fucking years ago, like 11 years ago. Everyone knew Next Gen as a really good grappling gym, really top of the notch. But now, me being there and stuff, they're not just a grappling gym; they're a full on MMA gym. Good strikers, good wrestlers, good ground, good BJJ. Everything. Full. Paul teaches a full system, Martin. Like it, we have our training sessions. If I gave you my timetable for our training, Martin, you'd be like, we do like we do 2 hours. Well, I do an hour in the morning, then I drive to Liverpool, do 2 hours, then we have half an hour break, we have some food, then we do another 2 hours of strength and conditioning. Like, so the days are very long, brother, and very heavy, and that's why they're the best, because they put so much time and effort, and it's just it's hard, brother. The first 6 months when I was there, it was just horrible because my body wasn't used to that much. I was messed up, bro. I'll be like, I'll be surviving, brother. But as you keep going and keep going, like we said when I first started, you just get better and you just adapt, and yeah, I know the system well now. And yeah, I'm such a better fighter now just by being with Next Gen. It's not just about. I've learned. You know what I've learned, Martin? I've learned that it's not just about knowing MMA moves that make you good. Like, you can know all the moves in the world and all the counters and stuff like that, but it's the planning. It's like the chess game. It's what do you do, of the whole. Like, do you get what I mean? It's like and I believe Paul is one of the best in the game at that. Is really good at the chess game. Is really good at the mind. When it comes to the mind, some of the things that he says in training, it's really interesting, and I write them down. I remember them, whether it's like, when to go, when to do certain positions, how to think, even, like, he does so many golden gems. I can't think top of my head right now, but he's he's one of the best coaches in the world, and we're gonna you're gonna a lot of people are gonna find out soon. All these talents. Is it half two now? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Martin, 5 minutes, brother, and I have to go. Okay.
Okay. So there are a lot of like rumors that Paddy can be the Ilya opponent in his
Yeah,
next fight, there are actually a few options. But do you think that right now this is the best fight to book in a lightweight division?
100%. Hey, listen, 100%. I don't smoke. I don't blow smoke up anyone's ass. And I've heard of Paddy before. I trained with him, and now obviously I train with him every day and stuff. And I'll tell you this: how you see Paddy on TV, people can never. It's a feel thing, yeah. A lot of people say to me or online, I see like, oh, his chin's in the air, or oh, this and that, and I'm like, and I just say to myself, like, you have not had Paddy. You've not trained with him. You haven't felt his pressure. Like, it's like an invisible, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, coach says this, yeah, and I remember it. It says, it's not always about being technical. Like, it's always like, if it's effective, it works. Like, for example, Martin, you always say, oh, when you jab, you jab and you bring your hand back. Some people in fighting don't do that, but they have a lot of success. So that is not always the case, isn't it? It's not always put your chin here, because you see professionals, the way they fight, sometimes they're here. But like Potan, look at Potan's arms, brother. He's right here, and he's like one of the best knockout artists ever. But if you ask someone online, they'll be like, "Oh, his hands are too high, it's too low. He will get knocked out." Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, sometimes how it looks on TV is so different to how it actually feels. And Paddy, he will show everyone that when he does fight Ilya, and he gets on top of Ilya's gonna struggle getting up. I promise you, he's not gonna feel like you've watched the Chandler. Did you watch the Chandler fight, Martin?
Yes.
Brother, who's done that to Chandler? And Chandler is a top wrestler, brother. Yeah, he trained with Gilbert Burns. Even Gilbert Burns said to Chandler, it was like, listen, the kid's heavy at bottom. He knows what he's doing, because Gilbert Burns came to our gym to train, and he knows what Paddy's like. So he had obviously the inside a little bit on preparing Chandler, but look, still didn't help him, did it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. I think that it's also a like grudge match. They don't like each other, so definitely it would be also really, really good for defense to see.
Yeah.
Okay, Yusuf. So many thanks for the time and for conversation. Of course, I hope that you will win your next fight, and next year we can see you more in the Cage Warriors.
Hey, thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate it, and I know you've done your homework, so I appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much.